Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Lion and I make videos on relationship tips and advice specifically catered to women from a perspective of a man. So if that's something that you're into or you want to learn more about that, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that notification bell on so you get notified every time I post a new video. Ladies, I hope you're ready because in today's video, I'm going to potentially save you a lot of time and a lot of thinking. I'm going to be deciphering and translating the 10 most common things that I'm sure you have heard before, because literally every single guy has said these things before. So I'm going to be deciphering and translating them for you and telling them exactly what guys mean when they say ... So here are 10 things that guys say versus what they actually mean. All right, so let's get right into it. So number one on our list today is let's hang out sometime. So if a guy started saying, usually this is more common at the very beginning of your relationship. I know a lot of you ladies are having a hard time deciphering and really understanding what this means. So if a guy hits you with the let's hang out sometimes, what he actually means and what he actually wants to do is to feel you out. What he's trying to do is he's trying to see how you feel about him. So he probably at this point likes you and he wants to ask you out on a real date. He wants to see you more often and he wants to take your relationship to the next level, but he's not 100% sure yet that you feel the same way. So without putting himself in too much of a vulnerable position and without just, coming out and just asking you out, because again, he's just not sure that you feel the same way about him, he's just going to throw it out there and he's going to see how you react and how you answer. So if you come back with something along the lines of like, yeah, I would love to hang out sometime, and even if you take it a step further and actually propose a date, so actually tell him, hey, I would love to hang out sometime. What are you doing on Saturday? So if you tell him that, he basically accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. So again, it just means that he likes you. He wants to take the relationship to the next level. He wants to hang out with you, but he's just not 100% sure that you feel the same way. And the reason why he said that is because he's trying to fill you out. All right, so moving forward, let's talk about the second item on our list today. So we had blue skies so far. Let's introduce a couple of gray clouds. If a guy ever hits you with, you deserve better than me. So whether that's something that's being said at the very beginning of your relationship, or maybe after a few months or even a few years, if he ever says, you deserve better than me, what he really is trying to say, as self-explanatory as it probably could sound, but what he is really trying to tell you is that he no longer is or has never been interested in you. He does not want and he cannot replicate the same feelings you have for him, and he just hopes that you can move on and hopefully maybe even find somebody else. Honestly, he doesn't really care whether or not you find someone else. He just knows that that person is not going to be him. So it's his way of just telling you that he's wanting to let you go. He doesn't want you to be in his life anymore, and he wants you to let him go. Now, the problem with this, and I'll tell you because I know from experience, is that a lot of you ladies, when you hear that, you take it very literally. So you take it very literally and you're trying to change his mind. You're trying to tell him, no, sir, like, I don't think that I'm better than you. I don't think that I'm too good for you. I honestly think that, we are perfect together. We complement each other so well. You know what I mean? Like, and you're trying to change his mind. Don't do that. At this point, it's not about who's better and who's worse. And to be honest with you, he's not making up his mind at this point. He already made it. If he ever tells you you deserve better than me, he has already made up his mind. So don't try to tell him like, no, I think you're fantastic. I think you're great. And I think that I'm so lucky to be with you. At this point, he made up his mind. And the only thing that you could and should do is just to move on and let him go. All right, so number 3 on our list today is I've been busy. I'm sure all of you, and myself included, we have heard that before. Let me tell you one thing, and I want to start by saying something pretty obvious that I think that everybody should know and should hear, and we constantly need that reminder. Nobody is that busy. Nobody is too busy, okay? The guy you're talking to is not Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, or even these guys have time to make for their family, for their friends, for the people they want to see, okay? Otherwise, what's the point? If we're out here in the world and we're just working or we're just going to school or wherever it is that we said we were too busy with, what's the point? We make these sacrifices in order to be able to spend time with the people we love. So if he doesn't make time to see you, he's just not that interested. The I'm too busy argument could only work for real if it was like for a day or two. So we know that we've been going somewhere, or something happened, an emergency, and we have to leave town for like 2 days. Longer than that, and he's just not that interested. All right, number 4, and this one's actually fun. So number 4 is when your man ever hits you with the "I don't want to see you wearing that." So if ever a guy tells you that, don't take it like a compliment. Don't take it like, oh, he cares about me so much and he doesn't want me to like get harassed on the street. No, if a guy tells you, "I don't want to see you wearing that," what it actually means is that I think you look great in this, babe. I'm just too afraid and I'm too insecure that if you wear that in public, you're going to leave me for somebody better than me. That's what it actually means. All right, so moving over to number 5, we're almost halfway through, and this one is a very controversial topic. So number 5 is "I'm too tired." And this usually specifically applies to the bedroom. So if the guy you're seeing, so again, this could happen at the very beginning of your relationship, but more commonly, it's something that happens after a few months, even a few years, or even after being married for a certain amount of time, and he hits you with the "I'm too tired," or he often tells you that he's too tired. He's too tired when it comes to the bedroom. So I know a lot of you ladies, based on a lot of the comments that I received in my last video on TikTok, you guys were saying, well, listen, you justified it basically. And you said, listen, he has a hard job. He has, he works in manual labor. He works 16-hour shifts, whatever it is. He's just really too tired, and that you could be too tired for sex. Don't get me wrong, you could be tired for a whole bunch of things. I think that men could be too tired to mow the lawn, or men could be too tired to shovel snow. They could be too tired to do homework with their kids. They could be too tired to even take a shower. But a guy is never too tired to have sex, okay? And if he says that he's too tired to have sex with you, he just doesn't find you as attractive. He's not as attracted to you as he used to be. Because if you put somebody else in your position, you put somebody new that he's excited about, I don't care how tired he is. I don't care if he did like 4, back-to-back shifts with 0 hours of sleep. He's going to try his best. He might not last very long, but he's going to try his best. He's not going to tell you that he's just too tired to even get into it. What I want to tell you though is that it's completely natural and that's normal. That doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship is dead and that it's over, okay? There could still be friendship, there could still be companionship. There is still a certain level of attraction, but definitely not as much attraction as there used to be at the very beginning. So if he tells you "I'm too tired," he's just losing a little bit of interest in you. Again, this does not mean that your relationship is dead. This could be normal if you've been married for 20 years. You know what they say, that variety is the key to stimulation. So if you've had the same partner for 20 years or 10 years or whatever it is, it's normal that you're not going to be as attracted to them physically as you have been in the past. So accept that. But again, if he tells you they're too tired, and if that happens at the very beginning of your relationship, he's just not that interested. All right, moving over to number 6, and I know that a lot of you guys have heard this before, and if you did hear it before, drop me a comment down below and let me know how you reacted to this and what did you do. So if a guy ever hits you with "I don't do PDA," so this is something, again, that could happen at the very beginning as much as it could happen after years of being married and anything in between. If he ever tells you that "I don't do PDA," I don't do public display of affection. So if you're trying to walk on the street and hold hands, or you want to give him a kiss, and he just tells you, "Listen, I don't do PDA." Now understand that there's limits, right? There are limits to where this could go. If you like bluntly just jump on him and try to make out and go for his package in the middle of the street with a whole bunch of people walking, that's not PDA, okay? That's just inappropriate. But if you're just trying to hold hands with him, or maybe like, put your hand around his shoulder or anything like that, and he pushes you away and he says, "I don't do PDA," what he actually means is that he just doesn't want to look taken in public. So at this point, especially if this is at the beginning of your relationship, he's still looking around. You're like the in-between girl, and he's still looking around to make his selection. He's looking for something better to come along, and he just doesn't want to look taken in public if ever there's something better that shows up out of nowhere in the street. So he doesn't want that title. He doesn't want to say to the world that he's taken or that he's with you. "I don't do PDA" often means I just don't want to look taken in public. All right, ladies, this one, if you're single and if you have been single for a little while, I'm sure you have heard before. If a guy ever comes out and tells you, especially a guy that you're getting intimate with, a guy you're starting to get to know, and he hits you with the "How come you're single?" I'm sure you've heard it before, the "How come you're single?" And here's what it actually means. It's not just a compliment. What he's trying to really find out is whether or not you're seeing somebody. So if he says, "How come you're single?" what he's trying to really find out and see is if you're going to tell him, well, actually, I mean, I'm still married, or actually, I'm kind of starting to see this guy, or actually, I've been dating this guy. So he's trying to see and find out whether or not there's another man or other men in your life right now at any capacity. So whether that's an ex that's still in your life, or whether that's like another guy that you started seeing recently. So he's trying to find out, one, if you're seeing someone else, and number two, he's trying to find out, try to get you to talk about maybe a side of you he doesn't know yet or did not see before. Maybe even an explanation of why you could be single. So something along the lines of like, okay, yeah, I'm single, but listen, I just came out of a relationship like not long ago and I'm still working on myself. So he's trying to find out something that he doesn't already know about you. And again, this could include finding out whether or not you have a crazy side, because that's usually a question that it's like an open-ended question that will tell, depending on what you tell him, that will tell him exactly what he needs to know in order to figure out whether or not he wants to move forward with pursuing you. All right, so number 8 on our list today is I still want you in my life. So this is usually something that a guy would tell you if he decides to break up with you, or if you guys decide to break up mutually. So if a guy tells you while you guys are breaking up or while you guys are having problems and he says, listen, I still want you in my life, it's basically another way to soften the blow. He has at this point no more interest in pursuing a romantic relationship with you, but he does want to maybe stay friends. But even more than that, all he really wants is to make sure that you're going to be okay moving on. He just wants to make sure that you're not going to, take this too badly, and you're not going to get too depressed and upset about this. But he has no interest to pursue a romantic relationship with you anymore. All right, so let's move forward to number 9. And this is something that I know a lot of you have heard before. So let me give you a scenario. And again, use the comments down below and tell me if ever this actually has happened to you. So if you've been ghosted by a guy, so you started seeing a guy and all of a sudden he just drops from the face of the earth. He drops from the face of the earth. He stops communicating with you. He stops replying to your messages seemingly out of nowhere, because before that, everything seemed to be going pretty well. And then all of a sudden he comes back. So he comes back into your life. He texts you back like a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe even more than that. And he takes you back like nothing ever happened. Tells you, hey, how's it going? Or how you doing, beautiful? Or anything along those lines. And you're wondering, like, what does that really mean? So you said, hey, what happened to you? And he tells you, drum roll please, he tells you, I've been busy with some shit. So if he ever hits you with anything along those lines, I've been busy with some things or whatever, even if he goes into detail about what exactly he's been busy with, whether that was a work project or like, I don't know, problems with his ex, or I don't care what it is. If they ghosted you, if they literally disappeared from the face of the earth for a few days, a few weeks, or a few months at a time, they are just not that interested. And saying I've been busy with some stuff, what it actually means, I just want to come up with an excuse for my inadequate, for my shitty behavior, for ghosting you. And honestly, I probably just want to hit that again. All right, so number 10 on our list today, and this one is a big one. This one is one that I've made countless videos on TikTok on, and I've talked about so much. And the reason why I'm talking about this subject so much is because I have so many questions about this subject, and I know for a fact that so many women misinterpret that saying. So if a guy at any point of your relationship ever hits you with, I'm just not looking for a relationship, whether that's at the very beginning when you just meet and he just tells you, listen, I'm just not looking for a relationship, or you've been maybe even seeing each other or dating for a few months, and then he hits you with the, listen, you're great, I like you, but I'm just not looking for a serious relationship or a relationship at this point in my life. Understand something. Here's what it actually means. So if he tells you that, know for a fact that there is within that sentence, I'm just not looking for a relationship, there's a with you at the end. There's a with you, but it's silent, okay? There is always a with you at the end of that sentence. Let me tell you something. Every guy, every girl, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We are all looking for a relationship. We are all looking for someone we can share our life with, somebody we can have companionship with, somebody we can call a friend, somebody who's always going to be there to support us and is going to help us with our project, somebody who's going to just, elevate our lives a little bit and help us live an easier life. We're all looking for that. The fact that they will tell you that they're not looking for that, if they tell you that, they're just not looking for that with you, maybe they're still hoping to have some sort of more of an open relationship. So whether that's a friends with benefits relationship or a casual relationship, or just a friendship. But if they tell you I'm not looking for a relationship right now, it's not the right now that you should be focusing on. It's the with you that's silent in that sentence that you should really pay attention to. So again, if they say that, don't give it time. This is something that I see a lot of women do. If they tell you, I'm not looking for a relationship with you right now, a lot of women take that and really emphasize on the right now. And what they're thinking is that, let me give him a little bit more time. I just don't think he's ready right now. Let me give him another month. Let me give him another year. Let me give him another couple of years. And hopefully by that time, he will finally realize that he is finally looking for a relationship with me. But he will not. It will not happen. It never happens. Okay. If he tells you that he's not looking for a relationship, he just is not that interested in you, not to a point that he wants to be in a committed relationship with you anyway. And how many women out there watching this are going to tell me that I'm right when they've been in a relationship with a guy who's been telling them that they're not looking for a relationship, and then as soon as you guys break up, you see that literally 2 weeks later, he's in a relationship with another girl. He's in a committed relationship with another girl. Again, it's not the timing, it's the person. So at this point, all you can really do is just to understand that, accept that, and move on. Understand that there's nothing that you can really say or do at this point to change their mind. If they don't like you, there's nothing you could do or say, right? We cannot force anyone to like us. We cannot force anyone to want to be with us. So if somebody tells us that they're not looking for that, just let go, accept that, and let go. There's no point of like dwelling on that. There's no point to really try to decipher why this is happening. Don't look for closure and try to understand why, because that's a waste of time. Instead, only know that at this point, the only logical thing, the only thing that you should really be doing and focusing on is moving on. All right, guys, so I don't want to make this video longer than what it already is. Hopefully you guys appreciated this. Hopefully, it helped you decipher some of the things that you guys hear from guys in your life. If you did, drop a comment. Let me know which point have you heard before, which one have you struggled with, and which one maybe is completely new to you that you have never even thought of. I'm going to see you guys in my next video. And until then, don't forget to keep your head up. Peace.